Whenever we try to learn something visually, it will remain in our brain for a longer time and we will have a better understanding. So visual learning provides an intuitive understanding of difficult and complicated concepts. So convolution is one of the difficult concepts to grasp, and worldwide many engineering students felt it is difficult to understand. There is a graphical method to understand the operations of convolution. That is what we are going to see in this video. There are two approaches in the graphical method. One is the sliding signal method and the second one is sliding tape method. These two graphical ideas of convolution will give you a better understanding about what is happening in the convolution operation. That is what we are going to see in this video. So whenever somebody give you two sequences or two signals using this basic idea of graphical convolution, we can solve that problems, and sometimes there won't be any mathematical equation or mathematical model for the systems or signals. At that time, the only way to solve the convolution problem is by graphical method. So let us go into the video and watch how can we perform convolution graphically.
Next, we are going to discuss about the graphical interpretation of convolution sum. So when we visualize something in a graphical manner, it will remain in your brain for a longer time. So it is very interesting and very easy to understand the convolution sum using the graphical interpretation. There are two methods to understand convolution sum. First one is sliding signal and second one is sliding tape. So now let us check how to do that. So we have our famous convolution equation C of n is equal to x1 of n convolution x2 of n, right? So which is given by summation m varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of m into x2 of n minus m. So this equation we are seeing in the past 3-4 videos, so it is in our brain. That is not a problem. Now how to perform this operation graphically? So assume that we have a x of n signal, so I am going to mark it in red color, right? So this is our x of n signal, right? And we have also a signal called g of n. Okay, so in red color what I have marked is our x of n signal, so I am going to use green color for marking the g of n signal. So this is our g of n signal, right? So according to this equation, what I have to do, I have to perform some operation. So this is our x of n and this is our g of n. So how can we write our equation? I can write summation m is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of m into g of n minus m. So this is how I can write the equation. Now this is actually g of n and x of n. Actually what we need is x of m, g of n minus m. How to obtain that? So first let us try to obtain x of m. How to obtain x of m? Instead of this n index, I will replace that with m index, right? So now the variable is m here. So I have x of m. So I am going to draw it with the blue color. There is no change in the shape of the signal. Just the index value is changed. You can see there is no change in the signal and it is the same, only the index is changed. So this is almost fixed, right? So this is our x of m, which is almost fixed. Now what I have to perform is I have to reverse g of m. The second signal I have to reverse. How to reverse? I have to horizontally flip it. So what is my horizontally flip? I have to flip it horizontally like this, right? So what happened? The value at 4 will come to minus 4. The value at 3 will come to minus 3. The value at 2 will come to minus 2, and the value at 1 will come to minus 1, and the value at 0 will remain there itself, right? Because with respect to the vertical axis, we are flipping it. Now what is the first step? This is actually g of minus m and it is not g of n minus m. Now how to obtain g of n minus m? We have to shift this particular signal. We have to shift this particular signal, right? For example, if you want to shift this particular signal to the right side, I have to do g of minus m plus n. Why plus n? You may have a doubt, because it is a reversed signal. Moving a reversed signal to the right means plus a particular value. So here it is n. So we can write it as g of n minus m, right? So I can move it to the right or left, right? Based on the value of n, I can move it to the right or left. That is what we are going to see next. See here, you can see the same x of m is there, x of m. So once again I will draw the x of m here. So this is our x of m signal, and we are bringing our g of minus m also into the axis, and then we are going to shift it. So this is our g of m, right? This is our g of m. I am going to shift it right or left. We are going to shift it right or left, right? Now assume that g of n minus m is shifted towards the right. This particular signal is shifted towards the right, where n is greater than 0. If n is greater than 0, what happens? This g of m will be shifted to the right. So I am going to mark them with the same color. So this is our x of m, this is our x of m, right? X of m, and this is our x of m, right? So in the brown color, right? And our g of m has been shifted, g of n minus m now, right? It's not g of minus m, it is g of n minus m is shifted towards the right. So it will be at this position, right? It will be at this position. It is like this, right? Now what I have to perform now? So this is located at this particular point k. The first value, okay, the first value of g of minus m is located at this k, right? So what I have to do? I have to multiply this value into the g of n minus m. It is 0, and this particular value with this small value, I will get some answer. Then I have to multiply this one with this small green color one, this red color one, this green color one, this green color one, this with the red color one, and here there is no green, so both of them will become 0. So after multiplying, I have to add all that. That is what the equation says, right? You have to multiply x1 of m. Actually this is my x1 of m, and I have to multiply that with x2 of n minus m, that is g of n minus m, right? So I have to multiply each one with respect to the index, right? Then I have to add it. That is what the equation says, right? If you add like that, then I will get an output corresponding to this value. Let us say it is 1, 2, 3, 4. I will get n is equal to 4. The value corresponding to n is equal to 4. Now to get the other values, what I have to do? So I will get only y of 4. Okay, from this operation I will get only y of 4. But I have to get values for y of 1, y of 2, y of 5, y of 6, y of minus 1, y of minus 2, everything I have to get. What I have to do for that? I have to slide my g of n minus m in the x-axis. That is why it is known as a sliding signal. The second signal, g of n minus m, is a sliding signal. I have to move the position of g of n minus m to the right or to the left. So see, in this example, what I have did is I have shifted to the left. So this is my same x of m. I am marking with the red color. This is my x of m, right? And my g of n minus m is shifted to the left because n is negative, right? So it is shifted to the left. So the signal came here. Okay, starting point of the signal came here, and it is like this, right? Now if I multiply each other, what happens? If I multiply each other, what happens? I will get some value, and I have to add all of that together. So I will get y of minus 1. Actually this k is equal to minus 1, right? So where is the position of g of n minus 1? Actually this is minus 1, right? G of minus 1 plus m, right? So because of that reason, for y of minus 1 I will get some value. So in a similar way, I can shift g of m to the right or left. Then at each position I will multiply the values and I will add them together. Multiply, add, shift, multiply, add, right? What is the operation happens here? You have to keep in your mind: shift, multiply and add. Shift, multiply and add. So when I do this shift, multiply, add, I will get the output y of n. Right? So that is the basic idea. Here also you can see that the g of n minus m is moved to a position, right? And here also you can see it is moved to a position in the left side, right? So in the x-axis, our g of n minus m will be sliding. Okay, sliding or shifting, right? So shifting, then multiply each values, then add them together to get one value in the output. This procedure is repeated to get all the other values. So if I do this shifting operation, multiplying and adding, I will get one value of the output. Then again shift to the next position, multiply, add, I will get another value in the C of n. Then again shift, then multiply, then add, I will get one value in the output. Again shift, multiply everything, add, then I will get another value here. Again shift, multiply everything, then add, I will get another value. Again shift, then multiply and add, then I will get the output C of n. So this operation I can perform from minus infinity to plus infinity. That is why this formula is given like this, right? So this is how the sliding signal operation is performed. Now how to perform the sliding tape operation, that is what we are going to see now. Sliding tape operation. The convolution formula is same. We know that x1 of n convolution x2 of n is our C of n. It is given by summation m varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of m into x2 of n minus m. Now assume that we have a signal x1 of n, okay, we have a signal x1 of n, so I am marking it like this, okay, its value is increasing like this, 1 2 3 4 in the positive axis. In the negative axis it is minus 1 and minus 2, right? So what I will do is that I will take a tape, and this tape is known as the x tape, right? In the x tape I will put the values of x of m, that is known as the x tape. So that is minus 2, this is minus 2, right? This is minus 1, so minus 1, then 0, here the value is 0, here it is 1, so the value is 1 here, here it is 2, its value is 2 here, it is 3, so it is 3 here, it is 4, so it is 4 here, right? So I will put the x of m on the tape, so that is known as the x tape. Now I will take the another tape, that is g of n, right? The g of n I have to convolve. So what I have to perform? I have to perform x of n convolution g of n, right? So this is my g of n. It has value 1 everywhere, right? It has a value 1 everywhere. So this can be called as a unit step signal, right? Unit step signal, right? Now I will mark that on the g tape, right? So exact position, I will mark at the exact position. So this is the g tape. I will mark 1 1 1 1 everywhere because the value of the signal is 1. Now what I have to perform? This is x of m and this is my g of m. I have to obtain what? I have to obtain, first I have to obtain g of minus m. How to obtain g of minus m? I have to flip it horizontally. I have to flip it horizontally. So what happens? Let us see here. See, I am going to flip it horizontally. When I flip it horizontally, what happens? You can see the original signal x of m will remain in its position as earlier. It will not change. You can see this second signal g of m is flipped horizontally. So you can see that it is moving from 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 positions, and all values are 1 because this is flipped now. This is flipped, right? Horizontally flipped, horizontally flipped, right? Now what I have to do? I have to multiply each of these values. I have to multiply each of these values. I have to multiply each of these values and add them together. How to multiply? Minus 2 into 1 plus minus 1 into 1 plus 0 into 1. So what is the value? It is equal to minus 3, right? So C of 0 is minus 3. In the next step, what I have to do? I have to move n is equal to 1. So I have to move the tape one position to the right, okay? Tape g of m to the right. How many position? One position right, right? So previously it was matching with the 0 index. Now it is shifted one position to the right, right? Now I have to multiply again. How to multiply? Minus 2 into 1 plus minus 1 into 1, right? Minus 2 into 1 plus minus 1 into 1 plus 0 into 1, 0 into 1 plus 1 into 1, plus 1 into 1. So if you add all these things, what you will get? You will get C1 value, that is minus 2. The same procedure I can repeat. I can again shift the g of m tape, g of n minus m tape to the right side, right? So I can multiply minus 2 into 1 plus minus 1 into 1 plus 0 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1. So if I add all these things, I will get 0, right? So C of 2 is equal to 0. So again I can do one more shift to the right side. So again overlap will increase. So again minus 2 into 1 plus minus 1 into 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1. If I add all them together, I will get C of 3 is equal to 3. So this procedure can be continued for C of minus 1, C of minus 2 and C of minus 3. You can see that when C of minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3 comes, the tape is going to the left. Okay, the tape is going to the left, right? So when n is positive, the tape is going to the right, and when n is negative, the tape is going to the left. Here also I can do the same multiplication and addition. So I will get minus 3, minus 2, 0. Like that I will get the values. Now if I plot all these values of C of n, that is n varies from minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 on a plot, I will get the out. So you can see the output here. The output is like this, right? So this is minus 3 index, minus 2 index, minus 1 index, 0th index, first index, second index, third index, fourth index, fifth index. It is going on like this, right? So this is the convolved output by convolving x of n and g of n, right? We have performed the convolution graphically and we have obtained the convolved output C of n. So this is how we perform the convolution operation graphically. There are two methods. First method is sliding signal and the second one method is sliding tape. I hope it is clear.
I hope you got a better understanding about the convolution operation and the graphical interpretation of this convolution operation. I have explained this convolution operation in two methods. One is sliding signal method and the second one is sliding tape method. So please keep these ideas in your mind. These ideas will be useful for you in the upcoming units and other subjects like discrete time signal processing, digital image processing, digital communication, analog communication, wireless communication, etc. So we have reached to the end of this video series. So I hope you got a clear idea about the concept of convolution sum, and thank you very much for your patient listening. We will meet again in another video series. Till then, bye bye.